guest tonight was, of course, a cast member on Saturday Night Live and starred in numerous films, including the Wayne's World movies. Please welcome my very good friend and, good God, one of the funniest people ever, Dana Carvey! Thank you so much.
Good.
It's so important to me that that you could be here.
I would never have missed it. That's impossible. You're
well, you turned us down a couple times. No, I'm kidding. You did.
I saw Conan and Greg Daniels come into SNL in 1980. Right out of high school.
1988. It was just, yeah, we were not out of high school.
Nervous.
We went to college.
You guys are standing there like this. I was pretty big on the show at that time.
You were a huge star, and I'll never forget, you walked into the room, and my writing partner and I were standing there like this.
Yes.
And you came in, and you could not have been nicer. You could not have been nicer to us.
I was a good actor in those days. I saw you fresh-faced guys, and I thought, well, okay, they seem all right. And then I went to Lauren's office, and what's up? And he goes, I don't think it's going to end well. No, I'm kidding. You guys are awesome. And Greg Daniels never had an office. Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
he created the office, the American office.
Come on!
Come on!
I got nothing!
Yeah. I like a guy who starts his segment by saying, come on, I got nothing!
I'm just trying to think, is there any comedian that can go from 0 to 300 like you? Because you're just like really calm. And then, all right! I mean, you burst harder.
I burst hard, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been told. Oh, come on! This is a show by children for children. Knock it off!
We're perfect.
Yeah.
I remember at one time I was in the makeup chair, you're doing your show, and I saw on the monitor you doing the monologue, and all I could see from the side was, what the fuck? One of the hardest I've ever laughed. I mean,
what was I doing?
I don't know what you were doing. The sound was off. It was just a guy.
Just a lot of desperation.
A lot of commitment.
I always wanted it to be funny if the sound wasn't on. That was something I used to think about.
Funny with the sound off.
And I'm funny with little kids. I work so hard with little kids.
Yeah.
When I go to a house and there's little kids there, I work real hard and there'll be like 2 and they're laughing and I'll say to my wife, I got him! And she's like, it's sad. So
funny with the sound off. By the way, I don't really get a chance much. I'm sort of launching a new podcast right now. Could I just do a quick thing? You can cut it later. It's called Kicking It with Andy. How's it kicking? I mean,
it's kicking great, man. It's really kicking great.
That's great. I have one with you, too. I'm watching.
This is kind of how it is now, isn't it?
Yeah, you can cut it out. It's just I don't get an audience and stuff. This is just, let me just get a shot of myself. Here, we're gonna. This is called The Best Is Yet to Come with Conan O'Brien. Well, anyway, I got the Instagram teasers.
Yeah, you got it.
I'll put that down.
Hey, I know you're always, when we talk about it, we hang out against your wishes, but we
have
hang
boozy 3-hour dinners.
We do, and you're always working on the next thing. I know you worked on your Biden in case he became president. He did, and you have some good observations as an impressionist. Tell us about Biden.
Biden, well, I watched him when he's doing the town hall. And that's where I kind of got him, because he would walk around with the microphone really slow. Yeah, my father, lost his job. No kidding, not joking around. There's nothing funny at all about his dad losing his job, but my dog died. I'm not kidding around. Joe, come on.
I found a severed head. No joke. No kidding around.
Come on. So that was the first hook. No joke. I'm not kidding around here, man. And then I noticed he made lists. Number 1, the one part. Number 2, the thing. Number 3, you know the drill. Because he gets confused and then he kind of turns on the audience. Come on, isn't rocket science, folks? I mean, I beat up a guy, named Corn Pop. I beat him up, Corn Pop, popcorn, Jiffy Pop. Anyway, excuse me. Children of the Corn. So those were the 3 hooks.
Did you see Biden just met? Biden just met with Putin?
Oh yeah. That, to me, Putin is an interesting idea of a dictator who's going to be there for 30 years, talking to a guy who might be gone in 2 years.
Yeah.
So he's like, It's just, he's like the guy who swallowed the cat, right?
No, it's our electoral system, people. Calm down.
Yeah, and Putin is just so smooth with it now. You just had Trump a minute ago. Now he's got, you know, so he's like, and the interpreter's like, we're going to keep our ballistic missiles in the Ukraine. And Biden's like, come on, get your facts straight, Jack. Let's do some push-ups. Come on, I'll take you out behind the woodshed and beat the hell out of you.
I was talking to you, it was the day, I think it was the day after the Obamas signed a Netflix deal.
Yeah.
And I just happened to, I think we got lunch or something, and you were just tickled to death that the Obamas were going to be working with Netflix. And you started making me laugh so hard talking about it. Do you remember how it
Obama
went?
pitching movies and stuff? I do Obama a lot on my podcast. I just love his, I love the character of a guy kind of, is that cool, that calm, and can just kind of sum things up. That's all. And I had the idea that I go to Netflix just to meet with them. I would love to pitch him, but I assume he might have an idea for me because he's new. Then I got an idea before you start. I don't know, it's a half-hour show, I think. It's about guys in a bar, and they're all friends. It's called Here's to You. I go, I think that's Cheers. Oh, me. Michelle. And I always have him yelling at Michelle. Michelle, he didn't like it. Didn't want it. I got another one. Okay, that one didn't work. This one's a big boat, sinks. I'm calling it gigantic. I think that's Titanic. Oh, me. Michelle. Michelle, he didn't like it. Michelle, leave the egg salad out on the table. I'll eat it when I get to it. So I just do him a lot. I love the cadence.
He's got that great clipped
That
cadence.
is kind of everything, you know, you'd say, things are going good. You got to be happy. That's right. Conan O'Brien. There you go. Andy Richter. Enough said. That's it. That's all you got to be. You don't have to try to be anything other than what you are. America appreciates and loves the two of you.
I feel better. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing is, there are different kinds of impressionists, and some go for incredible accuracy, and you do this thing where you're kind of interested in accuracy and rhythm, but you're more interested in stretching it out, which is the kind of impressions I've always loved to see people do. You almost stretch it out like silly putty till it becomes almost, it's not quite the person, but you're capturing something about
It's kind of like your Arnold became the
Well,
most,
that's only, I just watched you doing Arnold.
but
and
we
then
both blew it out to the stratosphere. But just give me your quick, like 1, 3.
God, the sausage! The sausage!
Because I would, and it was just, it became, there were no
You gotta
words.
see that face from this close.
You gotta have, there were no words at a certain point.
Yeah.
I saw him once and he had nothing to say and we bumped into each other and I was having coffee and he went, coffee in the morning, And I was like, yeah, I'm having coffee.
It's good for you. He's got caffeine to wake you up.
But it was crazy. I
do him as Mr. Positive because he never goes negative. I remember we had a movie that didn't do well at one point, and they're interviewing him on the Today Show or something. They're like, "It didn't get the box office. Oh, it was fantastic. Let me tell you, people are enjoying it all over the world." But it was lower than the other ones. Yeah, but everybody's great. You're fantastic. I'm fantastic. Everything's fantastic. And when he was governor, there'd be a fire, and he would come out, and there was a forest fire, and the fire police and the firemen came to it with the hoses. They came with the hoses, and they sprayed the water, and the fire's like, "Get out of here! I don't like this."
The other thing is you and I have wasted more hours of our life doing Beatles, you love to do...
We're obsessed
We're
with the
obsessed.
Beatles.
We're both
Literally.
obsessed with it, and we both like to play guitar, and we both know all those songs.
We know every
And we know way
song.
too much about it. But then you will start talking about as McCartney, and you'll do McCartney describing what's going on in the world.
I like to visit the Beatle voice when things are dark, because I don't think you can take almost any news story and filter it through the Beatle, Paul McCartney, Liverpudlian colloquialisms, and it comes out more positive.
Right.
Just think of any story, anybody in the audience, any story that's kind of dark or not.
The pandemic.
Well, you know, this little thing came around,
This little thing came
It's a
around.
little thingy and it sneaks in your body, But the good news is we came up with a vaccina. You know, we got a jabber. And what it does is, goes in your body. And it tells the cells to make themselves all spiky so they look like a coronavirus. I've seen you. I'll see you around here again. I know what to do. So it makes you feel
It makes me so
lighter.
happy, yeah.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's not so scary to me anymore.
We got a jabber.
You used to do, you once were doing McCartney explaining to Lennon, and like Lennon's up in heaven, and he checks in with Paul every now and then, and he's explaining to, McCartney is trying to explain rap and rap stars.
And Kanye West.
And Lennon doesn't understand what McCartney's talking about.
That came from really always wanting John Lennon and Paul McCartney to hook up and talk about how brilliant they were together. So I just did it for my own amusement. But it's like, how you doing, Paul? I'm doing fine, John. How are you? That's great, How's it going down there? Oh, it's great. I made a record with the Kanye West, Who's the Kanye West? Well, he's a talky singer, Does he have a good gal behind him? I had Yoko. Yeah, he's got a great gal, but he used to. Wait a minute, this bit's 2 years old. Wait a minute. Okay. I'll adapt on the fly. He had a nice gal, but she's, she flew the coop, but she had a... She's really terrific. What did she do? Well, she's sort of, she takes pictures of her bottom. Pictures of her bottom? What do you mean? Well, it's not a normal bottom, John. It's a bottom 2.0. It's like God made a fanny and attached a person as an afterthought. It was 2019. It's a little dated now. But...
It's good stuff, though. I have to say, you do.
Yes.
You do so many, but I think my all-time favorite impression of yours was Jimmy Stewart, and I used to think that's an impression that everyone knows because no matter how many years go by, people still watch "It's a Wonderful Life." That
was kind of the first impression I ever wanted to learn, and we didn't have tape recorders then, basically. Yeah. So I was with my friends in a Volkswagen Bug in 1975, and they were stoned, and it started to hit me. I started to do it. And I started to be able to talk like him, And this is a true story. They went into a Jack in the Box, and we're in there, and then I went through the drive-through, and they said, "Oh, take your order." This is a true story. And I said, yeah, I'd like a jumbo Jack with cheese. And the guy thought it was Jimmy Stewart or pretended to say, "Hey, is this Jimmy Stewart?" After I did a bit more of that. So that became a thing. And when I was on Deep Dive with you on your podcast, we did. Do you guys know who Jimmy Stewart is from It's a Wonderful Life?
Yeah. You did a thing where he's in the car. He's sitting in a car with
I guess Katharine Hepburn.
Yeah.
And they're doing an illicit kind of oral sexual activity.
Sure.
And Jimmy Stewart, I don't like things that are overtly sexual, but just him in that situation with his vernacular would be like, yeah, well, take your time. No reason to rush it. Yeah. Well, just look at it for a bit. Yeah. Now look away. Look in the other direction. Now look back at it and act surprised. So it just goes on and on and on.
I was crying, and then I was calling my brothers and doing it for them on the phone. I couldn't do that, but doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. The voice is so good, and it makes me believe that that's happening.
That was always, when I was working the clubs in the early days and just Hells Angels and drunk people and bombing like crazy, Jimmy Stewart as a waiter never didn't save my act. I'd be just tanking. Jimmy Stewart as a waiter was always the go-to, well, can I take your order? Well, what do you mean you don't know the specials? I told them to you 10 minutes ago. Well, what do you want me to stand here like a trained monkey and tell them to you again? Well, what'd you say? Well, you. Never failed. Never failed. I have a new character.
Oh. You have a new character.
Sometimes really bad things stick with people. I have no idea why. This was just a notion of, I like to do bad stand-ups. This guy's named Red Rednecky, the redneck comedian. Okay? And the jokes are intentionally terrible, and he has a catchphrase. So see if it amuses you. I don't know. Intentionally bad comedy.
This is my second to last show, and you're trying shit out. piece of paper. Look at this. This looks like a f***ing suicide note. You rip it out.
I played this theater a few times, and I came out like, look at this bit, look at that bit, and it never really worked. So I discovered that the Largo Theater,
Yeah, this is great experimental theater.
Yes, but I saved it. I was going to work this out someplace really, a small club stuff, but I thought, let's do it on one of Conan's final shows. Because I want to just try shit out.
This is Red Rednecky.
Red Rednecky, the redneck comedian, intentionally bad. You ever crap so big you don't know gonna go down that turlet? Come and get some.
Wait, is that his catchphrase? Come and get some?
Come and get some. I married my sister only 'cause mama turned me down. Come and get some.
This is scaring me because this would do very well in some places.
It surprisingly does well. I asked my mama, what's for dinner? She says, roadkill. I said, what kind? She says, I gotta take a drive. Come and get some. My grandpa invented the phrase dollars to donuts. Every time he got a buck, he bought a donut. He died at 37. Come and get some. You need to hear them.
Yeah.
This one's a little emotional. My mama asked me, what's your dream, Red? I said, living in a shack and drinking beer all day. She said, don't dream too big, because you always end up disappointed. Come and get some. A little souvenir. Come and get some. Come and get some.
I want to say, until you started trying shit out, it was an honor having you here.
I was trying stuff out the whole time.
Listen,
I did the best I could.
I met you, I don't know, I was 24 years old.
24 years old, yeah.
You were the funniest person then, and still, to this day, you make me laugh so hard, and you're a brilliant man, and you're a very nice guy, and you coming on my show all these times over the years. If you had told me in '88 when I first met you,
it's amazing.
Someday, Conan, you'll have a show, and this guy will come on, and he'll waste time on your second to last show.
I'll take it. That's good. That wasn't boring then. You know, you saw someone. Well, but let me come right back at you. You, when you started, and then you were a writer primarily on the show, and I kept hearing, Conan's the funniest guy in the writers' room. But then I'd be around you, and you'd be a little shy.
I was quiet around talent.
Yeah, I would do little voices. Come on, And then eventually, you became the funniest guy in America.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I'll take 9. I'm happy to be 9.
Well,
or 12.
No one in the last 30 years has done this much comedy that's this good. I don't think it's volume and I didn't know we get this serious, but really, there's only as funny as you. There's no funnier than you. And you and Andy, no one has a sidekick, relationship like this.
Yeah.
Because Andy will just lay you out with the subtlest things out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And Conan will be very sweet as pie and then explode into this comedy bomb. And this nice audience is seeing this thing we've had together all these years, and we've become really, really good friends in the last 5-6 years.
We really have, and I love you, and I thank you so much for being here.
I love you too, man.
Let's talk to we share a therapist.
We share a therapist. But not at
That's not a joke. Not at the same time.
Not at the same time. But most of my sessions are about my relationship with Conan.
Yeah.
And I try to get information.
And every now and then I'll be like, Dana, she'll be like, I won't give her name, but she will say like, how's it going? I'll be like, well, doing a little better than Dana, cuckoo. And
the basic.
I'm probably not supposed to disclose that, but I think it's hilarious that you and I have the same therapist.
Howard Stern, I told him, and he was very upset about that. Oh, that's just wrong. You should have your own therapist. That's just terrible.
No, she's fantastic.
She is fantastic. You're fantastic. I'm fantastic.
Dana Carvey, everybody!